Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 4 and what's probably going to be one of, if not the longest, sessions in this whole entire series of 170 something episodes. Now this is going to be a hell of a thing. One, because I never take Teddy into this boss fight, and I'm going to take Teddy into this boss fight because of Gaming Reaper wanted me to he wanted to see how I use Teddy, and well, here you go, my friend. I've come up with a special strategy that I never employ for this boss fight. It's actually a two-stage boss fight for those who are not familiar with it. And yes, we just skipped ahead a little bit because, well, I had to run back all the way. I forgot you couldn't actually just skip right to here, but equipping ourselves properly is going to be the first order of business here. Namely, I don't want Chie having a Blizzard Vow on. That is kind of stupid at this point in the game. She's not a magic nuker, she is a physical attacker in my build. So it's either the strength or all stats. I would rather have all stats so she has a less chance to miss with agility. So, beyond that, I think everybody is properly equipped. Now before we start here, the next video, you know, the big boss, or one of the big bosses. There's going to be two versions of it, a commentary-filled version like this one, and a no commentary for those who just want the unaltered ambiance of just an entire boss fight and the kick-ass music it accompanies it. So yes, there's one thing I should mention, that you do want a persona that is nullifying Shadow. Adachi does use Mudo Om, and he hits with it rather consistently. Seemingly, in my experiences, closer to around 80 to 90% of the time. I might have very bad luck, and he seems to cast it on the same one or two people. At least, again, that's just anecdotal evidence with me, but he seems to cast it on me and one other person repeatedly, and you only have 3 get out of jail free cards if you have those perks. So, without any further ado, let us go.
Wow, I'm surprised you made it this far.
Allow me to confirm the crimes you've committed thus far. You had suspicions that this world was dangerous, yet you threw Mayumi Yamano into the TV. Knowing full well that Miss Yamano died here, you did the same to Saki Konishi. Not only that, but you duped Namatame into taking over your murder attempts, while you watched like a spectator at a game. When the disappeared stopped dying, you sent a warning letter to ensure more victims. Even when a copycat killer arose, you had the gall as a detective to eliminate a suspect under investigation. 2 people died in the last 6 months, and a young girl is now in critical condition. But that's not all. If at any turn something had gone wrong, many more would have succumbed. All for some foolish excitement, like a criminal reveling in the chaos he creates.
Yeah? So what's your point? All I did was put people in here. It's the world that really kills them, isn't it? This world reflects people's thoughts. Which, oh dear, does that mean the real culprits are everyone on the outside, including you?
To hell with that! You did that stuff knowing full well those people were gonna die! If that's not a crime, then what is?
You're so self-righteous.
How can you say that? Aren't you a police officer? Out of everything you could have been, didn't you specifically choose to join the police?
Don't make me laugh. Just because someone joins the police doesn't make them some kind of agent of justice. You know why I applied? So I could legally carry a gun. That's all. You'd be surprised how many are like that. I thought it would be fun too, but to tell the truth, that was a wash. Everyone around me was such an idiot. I made one tiny mistake, and they all got on my case and sent me out here to Nowheresville as punishment. I was bored shitless and wondering what to do next when I discovered this power.
For crying out loud! Why a bastard like you?
A gift for having to put up with this lame job out in Nowheresville, I guess. I did that stuff because I could, and it got interesting, so I watched.
That's your reason? You can't be serious! You really don't care what happens to our world?
Let's be honest, there's nothing great about the real world, is there? It's just dull and annoying as hell. No one accepts that's the way things are. They're just stuck with it because they can't deny it either. Those who actually succeed in life, they just happen to be born with a magic ticket called talent. If you don't have it, you can either accept or deny that fact until you die. That's your only choice. Once you realize that, all you have left in life is despair. The ultimate game over. Wouldn't it be better if that kind of reality was wiped away?
That's complete BS!
Brats like you are so damn naive. You piss me off. Listen, you might have hopes and dreams right now, but that's only because you know nothing about reality. One day you'll see. You'll be faced with a boring reality that boxes you in, no matter where you go.
You're the only boring thing here! If you want to disappear, go ahead! Stop dragging us into it!
Stop yelling, punk. I understand you're all afraid and gotta act tough to cover it up. But geez, I'm telling you all this based on my own experience in life. Think about it for a second. Once everyone turns into shadows, they'll still keep on living, oblivious to all the things around them. So how's that different from the way it is now? Now, this'll make things much easier for everyone.
Easier? What the hell are you talking about?
Come on, how many people out there actually think about what's real, or what's right and wrong? Next to none, I bet. It's useless to think about those things in the first place. You don't get anything out of facing reality, and there's no way to change it either. I mean, what could be more boring than brooding over things you can't change? It's better to just ignore them and believe only what you want to believe in life. Doesn't that sound a lot easier? It would be awesome if everyone's life could be that easy. No matter who you are, your lifespan is about 80 years or so, right? Then it'd be easier if we all just became shadows. No need to hold back anything. No more pretending we don't see things. Honestly, we don't need our world anymore. Better to let it be swallowed up and for mankind to turn into shadows. That's what all those people who are scared to death really want. So it's my duty to see that they get it.
Nobody wants anything like that. It's just you, dumbass.
Jeez, don't you remember what it was like when your shadow came out? It must have been enjoying life far more than you.
Be careful! I don't know what's happening!
You all saw shadows as mere monsters, didn't you? These things move on pure instinct. They go wild because you defy them. You annoying little brats are the ones who are wanted in the new world!
Speak for yourself! Living is too painful for you, but you don't want to die? Of course no one would understand. It makes no sense. You're just throwing a tantrum like a kid who can't have his way!
People can't live alone. If you give in and sever your ties to human society, it will naturally become hard to live in it. Yet you refuse to face life and admit your fault, running from your own humanity like a coward. And though you claim to find life troublesome, you cause nothing but trouble for many others. Your twisted logic is that of an immature, egotistic brat.
Shut up! Stop trying to act all tough! You guys can't even stand on your own, unless you deny everything I said! Stupid teenagers! You have no idea what kind of shit I've been through!
Favored by the world, my ass. I'm gonna say it flat out. You're just a worthless criminal!
Here he comes. This'll probably be our last battle. Let's hit him with everything we've got!
The world is about to change! Your existence won't belong there! I thought I could just leave you be, but you're like a plague! I'll have to get rid of all of you!
You're the plague!
Shut up! Get lost! Get the hell out of my sight!
I can't believe he's the one! That bastard! We can't lose, no matter what!
Now my strategy at first glance is going to appear rather stupid. Why? Barok, you're going to blow through way too much SP doing what you're planning to do. I know, that's the fun part. How could blowing through SP be fun? Because it makes for an entertaining way of fighting the next boss. Seriously, the next boss is going to be hell on earth, hell incarnate, whatever the way you want to word it. This is going to be fun, but okay, for this boss fight, it's really just hit him as hard as you can and heal when you need to. It's not really anything difficult.
Come on down!
A persona? But that can't be!
Now, it's nice to have Dekaja, which I think I do, but during the making of this video, I don't think I ever remembered that I actually had it, which was a whoopsie moment if you actually use Dekaja, or Dekaja, whatever it is. It's actually rather nice to use. Because you don't want him dodging everything and taking less damage when you do hit him. Common Shin Megami knowledge, buffs win boss fights, especially final boss fights. Seriously, I can't imagine trying to defeat Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 without buffs, or any of the other previous. That... Did I mention my strategy was incredibly inefficient? I think I did in a roundabout way. We're going to be wasting a lot of SP this first fight. Now, to try and offset this, that's the reason why I have so many Persona with Invigorate 2 and even one with Invigorate 3. So, if you don't have Invigorate, you gotta adjust your strategy, and I wouldn't recommend trying mine. So, there's that. Then again, I've built myself to really excel in just extremely drawn-out fights. That's kind of my shtick, just not dying. Yes, Teddy is really one of those... He's basically a weaker version of Yukiko in this strategy. That's not to say that the character is a weaker Yukiko, and by no means am I saying that. I'm saying I don't know how to use him that well. That's how I'm going to use him, because he's not really strong enough to use as well as I could, say, Yukiko during this fight. But we're making do with what we have, because, well, that's about the only thing I can do. Now, I could start going more offensive-oriented with Loki here, which, given the circumstances, might actually be a good thing to do, try and shorten this a little bit more.
Persona!
That was not quite the effect I had wished. That only did 150 damage for what, 50 SP? I mean, Adachi doesn't really take a whole lot of damage as opposed to the next boss, which takes a lot of physical damage, I noticed. Which is why I love having Chie in the party. Kanji's also really, really bad for these fights. Because Kanji's one of those characters that relies on the enemy getting knocked down. I mean, he has other uses, don't get me wrong here, but, I mean, that's where he excels at. Have I ever mentioned I like a challenge? That's why I take characters that are not horrifically optimized. The optimized group for this would probably be Yukiko, Chie, and, oh, say, Yosuke or something like that. I don't know. I never really tried to optimize that well. But I can pretty much assure you it is, or might even be Teddy if he's fully leveled.
Persona!
Yes, I like keeping buffs up, but there's one thing I will say, I am not, I repeat, not going to use a Soma. So keep that in mind as my SP gets lower and lower. That's right. I'm blowing through all this SP and I refuse to use a Soma. I'm only going to use the lower tiers.
Damn brats! Shut up and let me finish you off!
That didn't really hurt. Yeah, there's one big hint here if you're a newbie to the Shin Megami series as to just why you can tell Adachi's not the final boss. That hint is a big one. Remember the last two final bosses that we had? At least I think the last two. I know the one did. They each got 2 turns each. Adachi's only getting 1 turn, so that's a big old hint. He's not the final boss. Even if the game tries to force feed it to you that this will be our last fight, it's not. It is not at all.
Thank you!
And yes, we're going to be using a lot of items. Because why did you think I bought all those items? Or kept all of them? I wasn't saving them to put in the bank.
There's soda!
I saved them all for this next fight and the final boss fight, and we will be using a ton of them then.
Dumbass!
Mind you, I could have gotten probably a lot more Somas if I actually did side quests, but yeah, it's too easy. And takes too much time for me. Man, this fight's only half done. I forgot how much health Adachi has. Just burning SP at this point. I think when he gets around 50% or lower, sometime around there, he starts casting Mudo on. He might do it before, but he's never really started with me before, so that's just, again, anecdotal evidence I've collected. I might well be wrong, but you do have 3 oops moments.
Take this!
Granted, you actually have anybody in your party that actually gives a damn about you, which hopefully you should at this point.
There's soda!
That's kind of the game's hidden message and all. Friends are valuable, you need them. Actually, I guess it's not very hidden, it's actually quite overt. They kind of just say it over and over. They said it before, didn't they? I'm sorry if you hear that noise. Our new freezer does occasionally make noise. I can't unplug that, sorry.
There's soda!
People would get annoyed if I did. Right. Well, there we go with the, yeah, whatever that was. Truthfully, I wasn't really looking at the screen. I think that was Mudoon, though. Judging by the sound of it. You can tell you played too much, but you can tell by the sound. Because I heard a strange noise over there. But yeah, anyway, back on topic here, to one of the final boss fights in the game. As I said, this fight's really just... It's easy. It's not a difficult fight. That's another big hint that this is not the final boss fight. So, getting off of the obvious hints here. Teddy does have good maneuvers, but... If I was going to take Teddy in this fight, it'd probably be when he's, say, level 75 or so.
Damn it! You're all such a pain in the ass! I'll kill you! Just like I did those other ones! Dumbass!
Ah, right. It's after this. This is where he starts trying to, essentially, really just try and piss you off and try and waste your time. Which is fine, except, well, it's just annoying more than anything. You do need to have a good supply of sedatives on hand for this, which is why I went and bought a bunch of restoratives.
Thanks a bunch!
The final boss fight is much more restorative intensive, though. Thankfully, I think we get another chance to shop before that. As you see, all I'm trying to do is rely on Chie for damage and Kanji for physical damage. It is an awful, awful setup. but it will eventually get the job done. I didn't say it was going to be fast. Just gonna waste a lot of SP in the process. Yeah. Like I said, that's pretty much the definition of inefficient. Takes a very long time, and it doesn't actually save on SP.
Guys, Chie-senpai's really hurt.
Yes, I noticed. Thank you very much for that. Now, I'm not sure exactly how you could speed this up. I guess if you actually just use your one character like I normally would for healing, like Yukiko, and then everybody else swing away like I normally do, but
Persona!
this fight still takes a long time.
Persona!
Thank you!
What percentage health is he at again? Oh, right. You think you'd remember?
No, don't get scared. I'm with you.
Tell me, you're the one playing, aren't you?
Thanks!
I forget. I forget things easily. But yes, in the next boss fight, there will be one character basically on item duty.
Chie-senpai! Come on, get up!
I'll let you guess who that is, and like I said, he does tend to focus on a few characters, in my experiences. This time it was Chie. But, I gotta tell you remember that time you decided to force me to cross-dress? I do. I'm not going to heal you. I'm not joking, I'm not going to heal her. Why? Barok, this is sheer spite. This isn't going to help anything. You don't make a man cross-dress and expect to get away with it scot-free. You don't do that, okay? So you know what? I'm just gonna attack him. Maybe you should have thought of that before you did it, huh?
Persona!
Unfortunately, Teddy has no such quandaries. He actually won that contest.
Persona!
Dumbass!
Oh god.
No,
He
don't
has
get
really
scared.
good luck
I'm
today with
with you.
fear, which is good. Actually, I have Teddy in the party.
Persona!
Normally I get to rely on Yukiko for this.
Dumbass! Dumbass!
But to Teddy's credit, he does get Amrita way before Yukiko does, so he does come online faster, in a sense, which does make him more viable for in-game bosses earlier in level-wise than Yukiko does. From what I can tell, anyway. It'd be a lot better if he actually did have more health, which would come with, you know, levels, but you gotta take what you can get. And I was too lazy to go and grind more, so here we are.
I won't lose!
Now the reason I guarded with Chie there is, well, she's not really in a position to go swinging like that, especially if
Persona!
Teddy's heal doesn't really heal her to full anyway, so that would have been just more dangerous.
Dumbass!
Believe it or not, you actually want him to cast Vorpal Blade. Unless he gets a crit with it, it's really not all that dangerous, which is rather surprising. Vorpal Blade is one of those attacks you never want. You hear the name, you just go, I don't want to get hit by that. Well, you do in this. Well, you don't want to get hit by it, but you want him to cast it, if that makes sense. That was a total waste of SP. I knew it wasn't going to do a whole lot. Why did I do it? I don't frickin' know. I thought it might do more damage this time. Pretty sure that's the definition of insanity.
Persona!
That whole thing about doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I think they also call it the scientific method.
Bastards! There's no way I can lose! It makes no sense! I can't lose!
Just saying, my chemistry teacher made us redo the same thing to confirm the results.
Persona!
We're in the home stretch now, finally, jeez. Oh god, you have too much health.
Persona!
Not sure if Meteorama was really needed there. Probably could have made do a Dairon, but yeah, I like group heals personally, and I like to just top everybody off. Could you, like, I don't know, miss with that? That'd be great. Every time I try it, half the time it misses. That's on a character with Mudo boost, for God's sake. What do you have, Super Mudo
Don't
boost?
strain yourself.
Persona!
Sorry!
I swear it feels like it does.
Dumbass!
Oh, come on. Every other time I've ever did this fight, like, max, one person gets that per rotation, but thankfully we do have Teddy.
No, Conchi's scared.
Thankfully Reaper didn't say Yosuke.
Persona!
I would have been in some real crap had he done that. Of course, if he said Yosuke, I could have added Yukiko, so maybe it would have been fine either way.
Dumbass!
Okay, so from here on, it's really just burn him down, because we're wasting just more SP here.
Persona!
Why did I do that now, and not use that before? Would have been so much better just to use Bufudine before, because I don't think that's why. Yeah, the big nuke severe moves are usually better with Mind Charge. Unfortunately, I don't have Mind Charge on any of my Persona available. If I'd actually trained a little more, I could have gotten Satan to have Mind Charge, which would have been great, but... laziness! I have it, a lot of it. Come on. Why won't you die?
Dumbass!
How about no? It didn't work the first few times, then it's not gonna work now.
Persona!
Totally overkill. Doesn't matter, still won. Of course, now I have no SP going into the actual big boss fight.
Woohoo, Sensei!
I'm sure it'll be just fine.